there, guys. It's Mia here. I am so excited, as always. I am so excited about this topic today. I'm going to teach very simply. Let me just make sure I'm sharing this. Um, I I am going to teach very simply today about the importance of showing up as the highest and tallest version of yourself. That's right. You being all of who you are and why it's important. I want to just share it on one of my platforms, and I'm going to do that right now. And that way everybody can see in real time. I'm so excited to be here. One of the things that really means the world to me is for you to give the world all of who you are. Because here's the deal: you were created with gifts and talents that are unmatched, that you were meant to broker for this world, that there's only you that can do the thing that you do. And the reason that I wanted to do this live tonight is so that you'll stop hiding, you'll stop shrinking, you'll stop giving us a small taste of what it is that you can do. And instead, you'll show up as the highest and tallest version of yourself. I've got 5 simple points today. And one of the things that I hope as a result of you hearing this, and let's just be in agreement around this, that it will change you. I'm Mia Redrick, business and life consultant. For those of you who are just meeting me, it's nice to virtually meet you. And I got started my business over 20 years ago. I made a decision. I wanted to be the highest and tallest version of myself. I wanted to leverage my background as a corporate trainer, and I wanted to start a business doing what I knew how to do exceptionally well. So I packaged my skills and started my own coaching and consulting company. And for the last 20 years, I've had the great privilege and honor to coach smart, sharp, amazing women and help them to package their knowledge, their experience, their expertise, their gifts, their talents into high value products and services as coaches or consultants, and in many ways, or as trainers and or speakers, you name it. Tonight's live is going to be for you if you know you're sitting on a gold mine, and over again you've been thinking about what it is that you want to launch, and that you're going to launch, or maybe you've launched just a little bit, but you're not showing up 100% as yourself. One of the things that I learned from my own story is as a result of me deciding to be the tallest version of myself, not the version that other people saw or believed, not doing the things that other people thought would make sense. Because sometimes when you've got this out of the box gift, talent, brilliance, it's not going to make sense to anyone but you. Okay. And when I got started in business 20 years ago, and I launched as a mom coach at that time, there were so many people who had never heard of mom coaching because it didn't really exist back then. And they thought I was crazy. Like, why would you not want to be a corporate trainer? You're going to leave all of that to be a mom coach. And little did they know, and I'm so grateful I didn't listen. Little did they know that, as a result of me following my passion, my skills, my talent, as a result of me listening to the whisper of what God was telling me I was called to do, I had the opportunity to coach hundreds of women. I built a very large coaching program for those women. And I had the opportunity to do Emmy-nominated television shows as the mom strategist. I had the opportunity equally to do a number of strategic corporate partnerships with very large brands. My life changed as a result of me being the highest and tallest version of myself. And I want to say this to you, that sometimes there's not going to be evidence. There's not going to be evidence that what you want to do, that is going to work. But there's something that's inside of you. There's this calling that's on your life that when you move in the direction of the highest and tallest version of you, it will always work and land if you don't quit. All right, so here are the 5 points that I have for you today. That's what I'm going to share with you. And if there's anything that I say that resonates, like this page so you can come back. And also you can leave a comment, or you can DM me if you're, as a result of what you hear, you're like, Mia, I love this, and I want to figure out how I can figure out my thing. I'm for you. Okay. So number one, the first thing I want you to do, if you want to understand how to dance with the highest and tallest version of yourself, is one, you need to join rooms where you are seen and celebrated. You need to join rooms where you are seen and celebrated. And let me tell you what I mean by that. I want to share this. You've got to share what it is that you do with people who can appreciate what you do. And a lot of times, your talents and your gifts and your brilliance, you're in rooms with people who aren't giving you anything, because when you show up in a place, you are the bright light. You have the talent, the skill, the genius, you have the magnetism. You got it all. And as a result of you having those things, you may be in rooms currently that aren't big enough for you. And I always say the right room for you, you'll be seen, meaning people will see what it is that you do. There'll be a level of appreciation for it. You'll be celebrated for what you do, and not from an ego perspective. It means that you'll know immediately that the environment you're in, that you're adding value to that environment, and that environment equally will add value to you. It's one of the reasons why in my coaching programs over the years, I've assembled women who I call giants. And I like to match women with their own ambition level and above, because the truth of the matter is, when you're surrounded with other people who are like-minded, meaning they run the way that you run, then you can get a lot more done. You can see a lot further. You'll press bigger. And I want to use that running example so it makes sense to you. If you were just a jogger and you were running with someone that, say, it runs sprints, that's sprinting. Well, those are two different ways that you can run. And now if you're running with someone that's sprinting and they run a little bit faster, and you are a light jogger, the reality is that you always are trying to keep up with the person who is sprinting, and you may or may not enjoy running with them. Does that make sense? And if you are the person that you like to sprint and you're running with this person that's on a slow jog, you may not like running with them because they slow you down. But there's something really amazing about running with people who are doing what you're doing differently, and that they are a little bit ahead of you. It guides you. It's a carrot, it's motivation, and that's what you need. So what I'm talking about today is how you can show up as the tallest version of yourself. And the first thing that I think is very important that a lot of people overlook, they're in rooms with individuals that they may love, they may like, and appreciate. However, when you are sharp and you're smart and you're capable, you need to be in places where you're seen, where people can see your brilliance, where people don't say to you, you're doing too much, or that's extra, or you've already done those things. The truth of the matter is, you were put here for a purpose with amazing skills and talents. And some of us who are very, very talented, you need to be in places where you're celebrated for what it is that you're doing. People aren't asking you to play a smaller version of who you are. Are we clear? Number two, the second thing that I think is equally important, if you want to show up as the tallest version of yourself, is to associate and move in the direction of your elevation only. So associate and only move in the direction of your elevation. So what do I mean by that? So a lot of times, and I see this all the time online, or people who I've had the opportunity to work with, and they tell me of their journey, and I listen to them and I think, man, okay, this is a perfect example where someone will know that their goal, I'll use this example, is to hit six figures, and they want to do it over the course of a year, okay, or sooner. And they see something online that is $27 or $97, and they're like, huh. And this thing promises that it's the key to helping you realize that goal. Well, the reality is that that's not real. Okay, you already know that as if your goal is to associate with people who have likeness, as we just talked about, that would not be a person that says, this is my dream and $27 is where it's at. And it's one of the reasons why, as I've worked with my clients over the years and watching a lot of the things that are happening online, one of the things that I've stayed true to is what my value is. The truth of the matter is, my clients come to me because I create results. And as a result of that, they're willing to pay me for what it is that I do. And I say that to you because the same is true. And imagine if in your mindset that you start to associate with people who want to hit six figures by investing $27 or $97. They're not like-minded. You have spent so much money, invested so much money, time, and energy and effort in order for you to get your degrees, your certifications, all of the things that you've done, your training over the years. You've invested, hundreds of thousands of dollars in yourself. That's who you are. And I will tell you, your entire life will change when you associate and move in the direction of what elevates you. The rest of it really is it's a distraction from your greatness. The truth of the matter is, alignment is where everything is. And I can tell you that for sure. Get around people who are like you, who want to elevate and who know that elevation, and they're not afraid of elevating, isn't a $27 investment. It just isn't. Okay. Doesn't mean that you can't learn something, because we all can learn something from everything. But a lot of times what I have found is the direct, like I believe this is the reason that my clients have done really well, is because they just come directly to what it is that will really support them and serve them in being able to package what they do at the highest level, to be able to price and fully value the transformation that they bring, to be able to position themselves, their marketing, so that they are the obvious choice in their ideal clients to come to them, so that they are able to sell and close in a way that is distinct for their business and not just salesy. They come direct to learn those things. And when you go direct to learn those things, sure, you're going to make a higher level investment in yourself, but you're going to get where you want to get to a lot faster and quicker. And that same, free challenge or $27 thing or $97 thing or whatever it is, that is going to waste your time. And you're still going to eventually go back to the source. But why do that, right? Just go direct. Number 3, if you want to show up as the highest and tallest version of yourself, I recommend that you revisit who you are. And I'm going to break that down. You have to revisit your greatness. Now, what I mean by that is, revisiting who you are to me means that a lot of times when we start to make choices that are lower than where we should be, it's because you've forgotten about yourself, your gifts, your talent. You've forgotten about all the investments that you've made. I meet people all the time that have done significant things in their life prior to meeting me, and yet they decide to start a business for the very first time as a coach or a consultant. And because they've forgotten who they are, they think they're starting from the very beginning. You got to remember who you are. You got to remember that your ideal clients, the people that are wanting to work with you, are going to want to work with you because of your journey, because of your investments, because of the things you've overcome, because of your failures, and because of the things that you've learned. See, they get to stand on your shoulder, and you got to revisit sometimes your greatness if you want to really own and have agency around the highest and tallest parts of yourself. And it's just flat true. If you haven't been doing that, sometimes I'll have clients write down the things that they've accomplished in their lifetime, and they just start to think about, like, man, I forgot all about these things. You got to remind yourself who you are. And when you're launching what it is that you're doing, you've got to bring all of those amazing things along the journey. Okay, are we clear? Number 4. The 4th thing that I want you to do to show up as the highest and tallest version of yourself is to build the business around your alignment. So a lot of times people build their businesses not around their alignment. They just build their business because they're looking at an example of what someone else is doing. And they find these models online, and then they decide, this is what I'm doing. What I want you to understand is, like, maybe what you're meant to do, you haven't seen before. Maybe you're the person supposed to do it for you. It's interesting. I have a different take on what competition is. So there are a lot of people who say, look, study your competitors and watch your competitors and see what they're doing. And I've never operated that way. I've always felt that competitors, right? The idea of competition is operating from a place of insecurity. It's operating from a place of scarcity. The truth of the matter is, I understand the thing that makes me scarce is the thing that makes me valuable. And there's nothing competing with that. Does that make sense? If in today's time, because we can transcribe anything, you can read what anybody's done, you can be the next version of them. But the truth of the matter is, no one can ever be you or do you better than you. Okay. And what I understand for sure is that if anyone, think about it, is copying someone else or reading the transcript of what their perfect words are, can you even imagine the level of self talk and lack that's going on inside of that person? So, one of the things I want you to understand is that when you're building your business, build who you are, what you're doing from a place of alignment, not from a place of lack or believing that what it is that you're meant to create is outside of yourself, because it's not. It's not. All of the things that you're meant to attract, all of the people that are your people for you to work with, those people are coming to you because you're you. And we need you to show up 100% and be the highest, tallest version of yourself. Does that make sense? And the more you are connected to, the more you like the girl that's on the inside of you, the more your ideal clients are able to see who she is, what she does, and they know that you are for them. Build your business around your alignment. Build it around your life, the things that matter to you. Build it around your family. I see sometimes I have the opportunity to work with people and help them strategically restructure their business because they built a business that took them away from their life. Really get honest, get clear with yourself around, what does that look like? If you were building your business in this season and you were showing up for the things that mattered the most for you, what would you change? What would you do differently? These are important questions. And then number 5, which I think is one of the most important questions, or statements, right? Or actions that we can take, is say yes and figure it out. Being the highest and tallest version of yourself doesn't happen if you don't say yes. And when you say yes to, I'm going to start a business, or yes to, I'm going to launch, right? Or yes to, I'm going to serve this audience, you're going to have to figure some things out. And what I see sometimes are individuals who are good at the, I'm going to launch the business part, because that feels good. But the figuring out part, they're disconnected from that because of fear, because of doubt, because of not doing the self-work, the personal growth work. The truth of the matter is, in order for you to be the highest and tallest version of yourself, you're going to have to figure some things out. You know what I mean? You're going to have to figure out what you're good at and be able to say, these are the things that I do that are awesome and that are amazing. And you're going to be able to own that, right? You're going to have to figure out for yourself that, this is what the client needs the most from me. Okay. And it's going to require you to look inward. You have to figure out sometimes the kind of team that you need. You have to figure out how to sell in a way that maybe you've never sold before. Maybe you've never sold anything. And you have to figure those things out. And embracing or having that mindset around figuring things out is going to be your best friend. I think about this all the time over the years. Every great thing that's ever happened to me in my business, I had to figure something out in order for it to happen. Okay. I mean, I had to figure out something I didn't know, especially when it was the first time, and there's a first time for everything. Writing a book, had to figure things out, doing television at the high level for the first time, had to figure things out. I mean, the truth of the matter is, people who live their dreams figure things out more than people who don't. And you have to have an appetite to be a person that figures things out. And that's my wish for you. And I would say, I'll give you a bonus. Number 6, you got to have the mindset to be an investor in the full solution. And investment is not a dirty word. It is your responsibility to protect your gifts. It's the thing that I do first in my business is I invest in myself. And because I've invested in myself over the years, it's changed my life. It's changed the way I work. It's changed what I've been able to do as a result of the work that I've done. It's changed the kind of people that I get to work with on a daily. The truth of the matter is that you invest in a full solution. That means not Band-Aids or patches. I was talking about it earlier, understanding that when you invest at a low level, a lot of times low level investments equal belief. Does that make sense? So if you don't believe that what you're going to do is going to work, a lot of times then we invest at a low level. When you have the absolute faith in yourself and you have the commitment that you're going to do what it takes, and you have the belief that you have this God-given skill and that you're meant to take this on a platform, you may not know the how, but investing in the full solution protects the gift. And I personally think when you don't invest in a full solution, it means that you're investing in a band-aid or a patch or a we'll see or let's see if it works. It never works, right? It delays time, it destroys your confidence, it punches holes in your dream. Give yourself every single thing that you need and then just say yes and figure it out. So that's what I have for you today. I hope this has absolutely supported you. Today's live was about how to show up as the tallest and highest version of yourself. And there were 6 points that I covered. I said 5, but I covered 6. And the first was make sure you join rooms where you are seen and celebrated. Very important. Number 2, associate and move in the direction of your elevation only. Okay. So if it's not about your elevation, that's not where you should be. All right. In terms of your personal growth journey. Number 3, remember who you are and revisit your greatness. And number 4, build your business around alignment, 100%. And number 5, say yes and figure it out. Look, it's your yeses that will change your life. Okay. And your no's often make room for other things, right? Like boundaries, but your yeses invite all kinds of incredible opportunities into your life and your world, and say yes, and then have the commitment to figure it out. And number 6, invest in the full solution. Be an investor in the full solution type of person. All right. So I hope that there's something that I said to you today that really supports you, makes you think a little bit differently about your skills, your talent, your brilliance, and that you'll show up for yourself. All right. I'll talk to you soon. I hope you have an amazing, amazing rest of your day.